Hi guys, I'm Soumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all doing well. I make a lot of bookish content on my channel, so if you are a book lover and a reader, then do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell icon. In today's video, I'm going to talk about A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, finally. So this is a book that I have been seeing all over the social media, and if you are following a lot of bookish accounts and if you watch a lot of booktubers, book influencers, I'm sure you must be aware that this book is the talk of the town, like sort of. So I'm so happy that I finally read this book and I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So as you can see, I've annotated it quite a bit. So A Little Life is a story of four friends: Jude, Willem, Malcolm, and JB. So this story spans a few decades. It begins when these four characters are in their college. They're doing their undergrad and it goes on till they are in their 50s. So we see them growing up from being unsure about themselves to becoming very successful in their respective professions and fields. So this is one of the most disturbing books that I've ever read in my life, and I'm not even exaggerating. This book is very dark and heavy. It deals with so many triggering and traumatic themes: pedophilia, sexual harassment, self harm, depression, to name a few. And the thing about this book is that it has a very beautiful prose and a very intricately woven story, but at the same time it's extremely difficult to read as well because of how heavy it can get and how depressing it can get. As I told you, there are four characters, but the central character in this book is Jude St. Francis, and the other three friends, Willem, JB, and Malcolm, kind of revolve around him. Like, they have their individual stories and lives, but Jude is the center of their universe. So Jude is exceedingly intelligent, he's talented, he's charming and very, very likable. Everybody likes him a lot, but Jude himself doesn't see the kind of positive impact he has on other people. Instead, he has a very negative opinion of himself, and that's because of the kind of experiences that he has had as a child. And these experiences are revealed to the reader in different parts of the book. This book is divided in 7 parts, and when you read about what Jude went through in his life, you recoil. I mean, there is no other way to say it, because Jude goes through a lot of terrible things, and everything has been described in this book in detail. All the themes that I mentioned that this book talks about, all the traumatic themes, have been covered in detail with their nuances being explained to the reader. So if you are faint of heart, do not pick this book up. I will be very honest, the reason that I picked up this book was because of the hype that surrounded it, and not because I was that interested in the story itself. And I feel it's a legitimate reason. As somebody who likes to read a lot, I like to be up to speed with what's being considered a great read by my fellow readers. So I picked it up. It took me so long to read this book, and not because it wasn't a page turner, but because I had to stop myself from reading it after something terrible would happen in this book. And trust me, a lot of terrible things happen in this book very, very frequently. Okay, so there are things that happen to Jude that we read about. There are things that Jude does to himself. The thing about this book is that it has a lot of disturbing things going on, but then there are some heartwarming and wholesome things as well. And because this book is a well written book all over, the heartwarming things are just simply amazing to read. So I loved reading about Jude and Willem's bond. It's something very pure and special, and it brought tears to my eyes more than once, because I mean, to experience a bond like this even through the pages of a book is an absolutely phenomenal experience. And then I have to say that the characters are very well fleshed out. All of them are quite memorable, and all of them have like really solid personalities. Obviously some characters get more space in the story than others, but still every character has been fleshed out really well. And then when it comes to reading about Jude, if you keep the terrible stuff aside, it's like his life is truly spectacular, because everything that happens to him happens in extreme. If bad things happen to him, they are extremely bad. But if good things happen to him, they are spectacularly good. And you are fascinated as a reader. Overall, though, this book exhausted me both mentally and emotionally, and sometimes physically as well, because I would feel so terrible after reading it that I would sort of just curl into myself. That was the kind of strong reaction that I had after reading this book while reading it. And it's like, yes, some good things happen from time to time, but mostly this book made me heartbroken, sad, angry, and it made me feel hopeless. And then this loop of negative emotions would continue again and again and again. And honestly, it felt like an endless loop to me. And overall, this book kind of gave me this experience that it was a journey that had so many terrible experiences and no redemption as well. Another very prominent theme in this book is that of disability. So, see, the thing about this book was while reading it, there were moments when I was so frustrated at how the characters were behaving, but every single time I started to form a judgmental opinion, I would stop myself, because honestly, this book has certain serious themes that cannot be made light of at all. And I haven't experienced those things myself. So I did not have the heart to judge the characters in this book. And that was a paradoxical situation, because as a reader, it is nearly impossible to not form judgments about the characters that you are reading. If you like to read books because you genuinely want to read a book that is being hailed as a literary masterpiece, a book that is possibly a modern classic, then you have been warned about what that journey is going to entail. So you should proceed at your own risk. So that's it. These were my thoughts on A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I hope you found my video useful. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.